The speed at which an organization grows should be an explicit, specific decision. Because what you've got to realize is that as a business grows, ultimately the bigger it gets, the different issues that you've actually got. And the other challenge is that staying small is not issue free because often it's key person dependent. So what's really important is you set the vision. And I love this great quote from Max Dupree, who do we intend to become? So if you start thinking about the organization over the course of the next 5 years, where are we actually going to be? Now, you probably signed a commercial lease on your building. You're probably in a position that you've got employment contracts out there. You probably signed maybe a commercial lease on simple things that maybe even the photocopier right the way through to your computer equipment. But the interesting conversation is that ultimately, if you're not clear about the vision of where the organization is growing, then everything actually happens will actually just be a distraction. Because your number one job is that you actually don't have a qualifier for what's actually important. Let's actually fast forward maybe 5 years down the track. How big will your business be in terms of the total number of sales? And what will that represent in terms of market share for your area? How big will your property management be? And what percentage of total annual recurring revenue will be coming from PM versus the total revenue pool that's also coming from sales? What's your intention around partnerships, the sell down of the business over time, and actually understanding the exit and what that might look like if you had to do it immediately, or naturally an exit in 5, 10, or 15 years' time? And when you get clear about all of those numbers, then everything ultimately changes. Your job is to think very differently about what the plan is going forward and to actually make sure that if you're going to get into fast growth, that the easiest way to do it without a doubt is through mergers and acquisitions. Why recruit one person when ultimately you could recruit 50 in one great purchase? And this is a really important part to make sure you've got all of the ducks lined up in a row to making sure that you've got all of the cash that you need, the equity that you need, so that then naturally you can go and borrow additional funds to go and grow great businesses. I naturally think that property management businesses are pretty much undervalued because I look at all the value that actually comes in terms of being able to sell the landlords their principal place of residence, getting existing landlords to bring an existing property to us to actually manage it, being in a position that I get a landlord to maybe buy another property, and then I've got all of the archive landlords which have actually been in a position that they had an investment property with us, but might have a principal place of residence that ultimately we could sell for them, or maybe we could get them to buy another property, and none of that is actually included in the actual valuation methodology when it comes to building a great property management business. So now, more than ever before, you got to change the game. What's your view of the future? And the challenge is you've just been watching too much news, because the more that you watch the news, the more limited your view gets because you're worried about what's actually going to happen in the world. Now more than ever before, we've got to have a bigger, longer term vision of what we want to go to create on the inside of our businesses. And you've actually got to make that decision that vision has got to be super powerful and really energetic. No one else is going to set the vision for you. It's absolutely up to you to do it really well and to nail it as a great real estate agent.